Welcome to our Betfinder tutorial video. Betfinder is the fastest, most powerful odds database you will find anywhere. In this video I have broken it down into 4 parts, so you can come and go at each part if you like. First part is the tabs, or a basic overview of what you see on the screen. Part 2 is the top toolbar. Part 3 is the side toolbar. And finally part 4 is what you get if you have Betfinder Gold. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to use the reset, which basically just resets all your filters and puts you in the current week. So we're in week 52. So let's just have a look at week 52 and do the overview from here. Okay, so this part here, this tells you how many won of each type of fave. So the 9th favourite won a total of 26 times, and the 8th fave hasn't won yet this week, and neither has the 6th fave won this week. So there's a couple to watch out for. So this is the day of the week. So obviously we're in week 52. So some years this week didn't happen due to weather probably. So here you can see the number of races that were held on each of those days. And over here we have the runners, how many ran that day, and you can sort those by either the number of runners or how many races there were with that number of runners. Same goes with distance, and same goes with type, track, race number. Now race number works differently to these other tabs. All these other tabs can look at the whole picture at once. The race number tab needs you to have set on a particular day of the week. So we'll choose Tuesday for now, Monday rather. Sunday is day 1, as you can see down here. Okay, so we'll play that so I can show it to you. Okay, so there was only races in 2011, 14, 15, 16 and 2021. And we can, while we're in here, race number, we can look at the favourite SP of each race, what the winner paid for each race, and the order that they happened in. So if you want to just see if you can do something early in the morning, then you can do it that way. The count is if you are in one day of 1 week, then the count will be 1. If you have selected more than 1 day or more than 1 week, then it'll show you how many it's found for each race number. So basically you always want to see 1 in here. And finally, what favourite won. So we see with the first favourite one, the 7th favourite one, 4th, 9th, etc. Okay, so let's turn that back off again and play. And then we can look at SP. Now, this is the SP for all the losing runners. So at 1,000 to 1, we had 311 losers. And let's go to Fave SP. So we had 2,481 that had a BSP. The favourite had a BSP of between 2.5 and 2.9999. So that's what this allows you to quickly see if there's a range of SPs that you should play or find for that week. So between 17 and 18 there was 40. So between 17 and 18.999 there was 40. So these and this week, so if you're looking at multiple weeks, you can see where it happened. Like let's say we wanted to find out where Ascot was, the busy week for Ascot, because you can't remember. And we just go select track, Ascot, play, and then we can come to week, and we can see the busy week for Ascot is week 25, right? So there it is there. So if we went and grabbed week 25 now, and we kept it on Ascot, there's all the races for that week at Ascot. So you can see it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and there. Now let's just refresh again and play. Now these tabs are showing me all the winners. So there was 10 winners of a 6 furlong in 2020. Now if I choose to go and look at the losers, it will show me how many losers there were for the same distance, runners, type, track, SP. Obviously you don't need that because in here you can look at losers at any time, and the week, have the total quantity of losers for the week. Okay, so that's the losers, and at any point you've got the total down here of if you had played the ones in here. So if we played bet on every single horse, every runner at SP, so far this year we would have made 73.22. Last year in a total for the whole week we would have made 230. 2 years before that we would have lost a little, and the 4 years before that we would have made. Okay, so that is basically your overview of what you're looking for. So the tabs are your best tool. Once you've filtered in here, you can look in here and then filter some more until you get what you're looking for. Remember, over filtering is the same as backfitting data. So if you're going to go and put lots of filters in, or more than 1 or 2 filters, then basically you're starting to backfit. You want a big picture. If they're nice and blue down here with a big picture, then you've found something worth playing. Okay, on to the next video, or the next section. In this section, we're going to cover what all the filters and tools do in the top toolbar here. First one we're going to start with is find a week. All this does is basically let you find what day and of what week your date, the date you select is. So in this case, the 19th of June 2019 was week 25, day 4. So that allows you now to go and look at week 25. Okay, so that's all that does. Next one is the weeks. So we can go from week 1 to 53 and look at every single race ever for the last 11 years. You can also go from week 52 or 50 to week 3. Okay, so we'll just refresh and get it back to this week and play. Now the next one is odds in running. So if we put a 150 here, say for example, that'll tell me everything for the last 11 years that got to 150 and then went on to win. Basically every year we've had we've only had 2 this year. Anyway, it's still early in the week, so there will be another at least, if not 3 or 4. So that's odds. Now to reset that, you can either type in 0 or just hit Control Z and it'll take it back. We can also do it by percentage, so we can say how many of those got to 300% of their starting price and ended up winning. So far we've had 5, looks like 20 odds, the normal. And there will be at least 1 second that does it. And now, again, Control Z sets that back to 0. And now in play, lows. So if we want to find out how many got down to 2, we can do that. What we can also do is have it set for the BSP. So we could say, show me only the ones that were between 3 and 4 that got down to 2 in running. And there you go. And always at the bottom here, you have your totals. Now, these two are not dependent on each other. They are totally separate. So if I put 2 here, it's working with the BSP. These are off, so it's working with the BSP. So you're looking at every race, every runner that got to 2 based on its starting price of 3 to 4. If I put it, say, 150% in here, whoops. These two are not looking at each other. In other words, it's not saying if that got to 150% of its BSP, did it get to 2? they're also looking, it looks at all the ones that got to 2, and it's looking at all the ones that got to 150. We will add the ability to choose if lay taken, do the bet, if bet taken, do the lay. But at the moment, they are both independent of each other. So that's your highs and lows in running. And now we briefly touched on SPs. So if we do, say, 30 to 60, what can we see here? Now, when you're using these, obviously you're looking at SP and finding out, what range should I be looking at. So far, there's only been 2 this week. Normally, there's somewhere between 4 and 9. There's a 3 there, but so basically, you want to be looking in here before you're selecting these. So we can see we've had 2, and if we just played those so far this week, if we backed every runner that was between 30 and 60, we would have been 1976. Okay, so that's your SP. We'll just reset again. And then, of course, the runners, so you can say I only want to play 18 to look at only 18 to 20 runner races. And here they are here. Basically, you are looking at anywhere between 1 and 7 on this week over the years. So that is all those. So we'll just refresh again, set them everything back to 0. Now this little time clock here is set date and time. So if we want to, basically, only time you use this is Boxing Day and New Year's Day. So where you want to go and play Boxing Day, the 26th of the 12th. Now to do this, we have to have these set to 1 to 53, right? Otherwise it won't find them all. So that set to that. Now we're looking at Boxing Day, and if we hit play, here's all the Boxing Day races. Obviously Boxing Day hasn't happened yet in 2021, but you can see some years if you play them all, you do make quite a bit them all. You do make a bit of money. And again, you can come in and look at the SP, winning SPs, what the favourite SP was of them all, and the losing SP, how many lost at 1,000 to 1, for example, and the distance, runners, etc. Okay, so that's where you use your time clock, date rather. So just on those 2 days a year. And then you've got your time. So you might want to say, I want to look at every race between 8 o'clock at night and 10 o'clock at night. Okay, and then you can play that. We've got set to all weeks. And there you have it. And then you can look up here track and find out which track had most of those races. Wolverhampton, no doubt, and Kempton, Dundalk, Chelmsford. So there you go. That's the top toolbar and all that you can do in there. This little icon I'll tell you about at the end, and these are just for saving what you've got here so you can pull it back up. So for example, you could just load all today's tracks in and then save them and then call them back up and up. So I'll cover that another time. But basically it's really that simple. Up, load settings, save settings. Okay, now on to the next slide of video or section. Now for all the tools in the sidebar, all your filters in the sidebar. We covered losers and winners, switching between those earlier, but I'll just give you another example, seeing this is what we're doing, looking at the side toolbar. So let's say we go 6 to 8 in here and play. Okay, so we have a total of 211 that won. We go to the losers, and between 6 and 8 we have 1166 that lost. That's, so basically you're able to switch between looking at the winners and looking at the losers. So let's say we choose to lay all those at 200. Again, here's all the winners. Obviously all the winners got to 200. How many losers got to 200 and lost? Okay, not enough to make it worthwhile. But there you go, 147 over the years. have made it to 2 and ended up losing when their BSP was between 6 and 8. Let's have a look if it was between 6 and 7, what the difference is. Okay, we've got a couple of winning years in there now. So basically that's all it is. So you can switch between the two and work out where you could be if you're betting to lay, or basically any time you're looking to see where the biggest opportunities lie. Select years, and all these little buttons here for selecting, by default everything is turned on. So everything is every race type, every distance, every track, etc. So if it's white, it's all on. Now if I want to turn them all on but take one off, the quickest way is to click that, all 11 are selected, and I turn one off. And then 2015 is now missing. Let's refresh that and set everything back to 0. And then the other way to do it, if you want to just have 1 year, is have not select anything, not to click that, and just select the 1 year. Okay, so that's how they work on all of these. So select day, all days except the Monday, and here you go, all days except Monday. Monday's empty. So that's how they work. They're very simple. Race number, obviously, if you want to look between race 1 and say 7 every day, for that week only, or for the whole year, or however long you want to look at it. And then you can see what's happened for that if you just played those. So in the last 3 years you've done very well if you just played the first 7 every day and betting on everything. Okay, so that's obvious. Race number. So we'll just reset again. Select track. Now again, select track you can select as multiple. By default it's all of them, but you can just go through and select today's tracks, say for example like that. I don't know how many you're actually going to match. Looks like we had 2 match, Aaron, Bangor and D. So that's how you do that. Then we have distance again. Now the difference with distance is if I choose them here, they appear up here. So when I hit play, and I see that I've got 6 selected, I can see what those 6 are by looking up here. And same goes with type. So if I want to look at type, I just want all the types of handicaps, handicap chase, handicap hurdle, and that'll do it. So now I've got 6 distances and 3 race types. So the 3 race types, handicap, handicap chase, handicap hurdle. See all there? Okay, so we just refresh all that. Next is I can look at just X favourites. So I just want to look at the first and second favourite, and I want to find out results from betting just first and second, or laying first and second, etc. So in here you can, select your days, select your track, select the distance, and then filter down to just look at the first 2, or you can look at the 5th to 8th, 7th and play that. Pretty good all year, every year. Not so good yet this week, so there's going to be a big one there somewhere come up, so it's quite a good time to play. 6th to 5th to 7th. Today is Tuesday, so by the end of the week that should be turned around from, it'll be less than 65, that's for sure. Okay, so that's how you do that. Now the top 4, let me explain what a top 4 is. I'll just bring this little Excel sheet up. In here you have basically the top 4 prices. So what it'll do is, what you're doing by setting this filter is saying, I want the fave to be X percentage away or within X percentage of 4th favourite. So if I say 50% here to 100%, basically it's going to look for all races where the favourite was within 50 to 100% of the 4th favourite. That's gone quite well last year. Hasn't taken off this year. So that's that one. So basically if that was 3.1, it would be, would just make it. And if that was 6.3, then it wouldn't make it. Okay, so if I was the other way around, say I went from 5% to 20%, then I'm looking for those that say that's 1.3, whoops, 1.5, and that's got to be greater than 7, I guess. Greater than 8. There we go. And now that's within the 20%. So basically, that's the range I've set there. Looks like we did quite well last year on that. So that's how top 4 work. And also top 4 does go through to auto bet. So if you do decide to use it and use auto bet, you can set it in auto bet, and it will only play those races that meet that criteria. Set favorite BSP. Okay, so I'm going to look at every runner between 8 and 15. And I only want to play the races where the favorite was greater than 3 or to say 350. And we can play that. So basically all runners, any runner that was between 8 and 15 when the favorite was between 3 and 350. And we can see what's happened so far. You got 3 losing years in the past, and this year's slightly down. Okay, so you can do that, and the same goes for second. You could have second by itself, or you could have second in conjunction with the favorite. So we can put that on there too. And then you can see what happens if you do that. So basically you can have that off and just second, or both on. It's up to you. Okay, and obviously UK or Ireland, easy enough to choose, and flat and jump. And that is all the tools from the left-hand side. So you're 100% up and running with Betfinder. Remember, all RSA RaceStatsApp apps work in Google Chrome. And the last part I want to explain to you with Betfinder is if you have Betfinder Gold, you have the ability to send whatever you create here straight through to Analyzer. And with Analyzer, you can make a strategy automatically. So if you want to learn more about this and what Analyzer can do and how to create a strategy, just go and watch those 2 videos. But basically, yes, so you can go straight from Betfinder and see where you're at, and then make the strategy. That's one thing you can do. The other thing that comes with both silver, so that one was gold, and with silver and gold you can have the day sheet. So just you come into BSP check, open the day sheet, go back into Betfinder, and there's your day sheet. Again, there's a video on the day sheet, so you can learn that. But so silver and gold have day sheet, and gold has the ability to export a strategy, create strategy, and then auto bet a strategy. So they're the only differences to what you can get with silver and gold. Thank you, and don't forget, RaceStatsApp, Google Chrome, or Safari.